Navitas almost broke $17 today. It was within 13 cents. This stock is on an absolute tear. Should you buy more? Should you add for the first time? There's a lot to discuss in this video yet again, so strap in, sit tight, because this is going to be good and you don't want to miss any part of this video, especially if you want to print like my students are that you see right there on the screen. We are absolutely printing in the Discord, so if you're confused by anything I talk about in this video, or maybe you don't know where to get started, and you want to have the wins that my students have right now and the profits that we're making in Discord, like my $37,000 position in profits on Navitas, as well as Tempest AI, Snowflake, Broadcom, Oracle. The list goes on and on, including AMD, which many people doubted me on. I have students that printed over $100,000 just on that one trade I put out recently, and several $100,000 in the trade I put out previously before that. So if you guys are confused by anything in this video, or maybe you just want to learn and you're ready to dive in, I'd love to help you. The link to get started with Discord is below. Let's dive into Navitas. So really what's happening here on Navitas is it is a solution to a serious problem. We've talked about this many times. Heat and efficiency, power draw for servers and AI, but not just NVIDIA or AMD, but quite simply for everything. Apple, Samsung, and all the different phone makers like Google as well, EV and electric batteries. It's going to be in everything at some point or another. And that is the SiC, GaN, and of course 800 volt from Navitas. This is something critical to understand because when you're involved with servers or chipsets or building computers like I am, you understand how critical heat and power draw can be. For example, I have a NVIDIA RTX 5090 in this computer that I'm filming on right now. And if I try to get too much power into that video card and I don't have a good enough power supply, it will bottleneck everything and the computer will shut down most likely. Meaning if I don't have at least 1,000 watt to 1,200 watt power supply, this video card will not run properly. I have a Seasonic 1,400 watt titanium power supply in this computer because this GPU demands so much power and it gets hot. So I have liquid cooling all through the computer and I have a total of 10 140 millimeter fans exhausting this mammoth of a computer because of power draw. This is the solution that Navitas is embarking on, but not just for video cards, but for EVs, batteries, tech, phone chargers, the list goes on and on, as well as servers. But it's not just Navitas solving problems, it's also Applied Digital, APLD, because Applied Digital is renting out servers, which is a very niche market. No one else is even competing in this market for the most part. And this is very unique to Applied Digital. And not only that, the fact that Applied Digital is doing this is setting the precedence to make more room for more servers, because they're building more space and more factories in North Dakota, which in turn means more servers, more server space, more racks, more servers for NVIDIA, AMD, which means more servers for Navitas to provide a solution to overheating and extreme power draw. When you get into the Maxwell chips and you get into AMD server chips and all of these data centers, there is a lot of electricity going through all of these devices, and not only that, a lot of power consumption. GaN and SiC and 800 volt VDC is going to solve these problems. So Navitas isn't going away most likely. In fact, it's very low probability unless someone at the company messes something up. But I'm telling you, this is definitely something you want to look at to add to your portfolio potentially. I'm going to show you what's going on the chart. I'm going to show you where I'd want to add more. And I'm also going to show you other information on Navitas that I'd be looking into. And I'm going to show you guys the right way to dollar cost average so that you're taking advantage of the stock's move and making it work for you instead of against you. Just to reiterate, Navitas designs and develops semiconductors using both gallium nitride, GaN, and silicon carbide SiC technologies used in power conversion and charging. The company said its new devices will enable the 800 volt power that NVIDIA has said will power its next generational AI systems. These directly power IT racks, thereby eliminating the need for additional converters, Navitas said. So this is solving yet again another problem. No more racks will be needed moving forward, which means a cost savings as well as a heat savings, more efficient. They're going to run cooler, which means more output more efficiently and cooler. So this solves a very big set of problems for data centers, which in turn is going to help NVIDIA even more, which is why NVIDIA's partnered with them. According to the company, the 800 volts direct architecture improves efficiency and scalability, as well as reduces copper usage. Therefore, yet again, it is going to allow these server centers and data centers to scale better and more efficiently and cut costs, because copper is expensive. It's not cheap. Why do you think people, when they're condemning a home, go through and rip all the copper out and just go scrap it? Because there is a lot of expense involving copper. So this is yet again eliminating unnecessary spending and reducing costs. As the industry moves rapidly toward megawatt scale AI computing platforms, the need for more efficient, scalable, and reliable power and delivery becomes absolutely critical, Alexandra, the CEO of Navitas, said. The transition from legacy 54-volt architectures to 800-volt VDC is not just evolutionary, it's transformational. So this, yet again, is explaining this transformational jump that Navitas is providing, which is the reason why it's up so much. And not only that, because, of course, NVIDIA vocalized their support and partnership with Navitas. So unless they do something to upset NVIDIA, or they go bankrupt, or something very terrible happens, or a black swan event of some sort, and we're not even talking about tariffs or anything in the economy, because long term, 6 months, a year, 2 years, this is still going to happen, and therefore makes it a good investment. So as long as Navitas doesn't make big and bad mistakes to go bankrupt, upset NVIDIA, or NVIDIA doesn't exit or cut the partnership, this is going to continue to happen most likely. But of course, you don't want to put more than 10% of your portfolio into any one position. So there's risks with every trade. So you don't want to jump in too prematurely if you don't understand all of this. But if you are having trouble understanding the things that I'm talking about right now, I do offer one-on-one coaching, a full Discord with a full Ask Corey section and trades every single day and week, and a full 6-hour training course and modules to help get you on your feet. In fact, my students do so well in Discord, even when coming in completely new and not understanding the markets, they are flying within 4 to 6 weeks. Students who join my Discord, even when they're completely new and don't understand the market, within 4 to 6 weeks, not only make the cost back of joining, most of them double, triple, even quadruple that cost and are absolutely cooking in their second and third month. It's what drives me every single day, teaching students just like you how to achieve your goals and to show you what's really going on in the market. Let me show you how to take control of your portfolio. The link to get started in Discord is below, but don't take my word for it. You see the profits we're making here on the screen. Let's also take a listen to what my student Josh had to say, going from 300,000 to 1.1 million. I made another millionaire in the Discord. How you doing, Josh?
Hey, Corey. Good to see you again. Thanks for having me.
Of course, absolutely. And a lot of people have joined the Discord over the past year and done so well. And the truth is, you're the inspiration for all of them joining, most of them, and growing their portfolios. But you were my first student from 300,000 to 800,000. But you hit some speed bumps psychologically, and we had to crack that.
Started just like everyone else. I came across Corey's videos pretty early on. I was just really impressed with your approach to everything. I've actually explored other ones before as well, and a lot of them don't work. And so I can honestly say from the results themselves as well, but just how much you've developed me through this time period, helping me come from someone who knew very little about options trading to someone who now has that foundation and the skill set and also the psychology and mindset far surpassed what I originally set out to do. I was a victim of the market, and now I feel very much as I'm someone who's in the market, trading the market.
How does it feel to be a part of the Millionaires Club?
Honestly, it took me a minute to just understand what it meant. You know, it was one of those, you know, dream goals that you have as anyone setting out to start to trade and do this, but nothing really changes, to be honest with you. I think if anything, now I'm really excited to accomplish my goal. You know, going forward, it just becomes, now let's set a new goal. It feels really good to have a skill set and have a goal and be able to accomplish it. I think everyone should take master masterclass or, advanced training, elite coaching with Corey. I'm really excited to keep contributing to Corey's community, joining our calls on the weekly basis, and then also being live in the Discord. I get a lot of energy out of it. We have a really great group, and it's all because of Corey. Anyone can do this. I did not expect to be someone who could become a millionaire trader. The reason why you want to work with Corey as opposed to someone else is because he truly cares. He's just as invested in you, in building your skill set and training you to become a very good and profitable trader. He actually builds a serious program. He adapts to all different types of traders, no matter what they are, whatever their own personal goals are, whether you're in the retirement stage or you're someone that's really trying to build wealth and actually become like an active trader yourself. Corey's community is awesome. We have fun together. We also share ideas and trade and that sort of thing, trading overall. It's about making money, right?
So you heard my student Josh had to say, if you want this to be your success story and live your best life like I've been able to live, buying the cars I want to buy, the house that I want to buy, helping my parents, taking my kids on vacation, spending all my time with my kids and working from home, this is the opportunity for you to do the same thing. I want to help you. Link to get started is below. I look forward to seeing you in the Discord very soon. Let's dive into Navitas. Let me show you guys exactly what is going on. Navitas has sold off multiple times and jumped back up. Most recent high right here on my double fib. Most recent low right here on the double fib as well. You see it keeps retracing. It retraced back to 50%. It ran up here, retraced back to 50%. Comes all the way up here, retraces back just above 50%. Very likely that it will drop a little more tonight or into tomorrow morning. Possibly this wick will get bigger. If not, it'll, this stock can very likely dip a little bit more tomorrow morning and midday, but ultimately this is what's going to happen to Navitas, and this is a very strong company. Now, in my opinion right now, if you're looking at the stock to get in and you haven't got in already, then a decent buying opportunity would be somewhere in the 14 range or even down here in the 13 range. If it was to dip down into $13 today or lower, anywhere in the 12 or 13 range, I would be looking to add. Typically when stocks drop as they are overbought, you're going to see a relative dip down to the 200 or even the 100-day average, which means somewhere down in the $11 range. If Navitas was to drop somewhere between $10 and $12, somewhere in this range here, I would be adding a lot, and it would be a good time to buy. And it would not be surprising to see Navitas drop something like this, and then over the next couple of days or week, drop like this, and then consolidate, and then start its new run as it builds new higher lows. This is very typical in the market, but this might be too low for Navitas because of the hype behind it, because of NVIDIA, and because of the scalability and the FOMO of not wanting to miss out on another NVIDIA-like stock, because the way NVIDIA ran just a few years ago, many people remember this. They don't want to miss out, which is psychology, which is what I teach in the Discord. You don't want to miss out on this opportunity, right? So this is actually part of the reason that this is up so much. Part of the reason why Navitas is flying. So realistically, because of that, with that being said, this is likely the floor. So I don't think this part would happen. If it drops, I really think down to the 12 to 13 range is probably as low as it would go. So realistically, I would say that something like this, somewhere in this range, you would be somewhere in between. This would be your range right here. Worst case, in my opinion, obviously not 100%, but this is where I would say the stock could pull back to the top of the box or somewhere in the box. And if this was to happen, it'd be a buying opportunity. However, it's already resisted the 50% on the DFib, which is a strategy I teach in Discord. My AVP now over the course of this stock was between $7 and $9, but this is now moving up towards the $8 to $12 range. This is going to be your AVP. So a little bit lower than this. This would almost be like AVP right around here. So if the stock does drop around here, it'd be the top of the AVP, which would be support. This is another strategy I teach in Discord, very powerful. It's how my students are making so much money, is understanding how to trade properly, how to invest properly, and how to understand and do this for yourself, which is what I teach my students how to do. So when you're looking at this stock, if we were to see it come all the way back down in the 12 and maybe even the $11 range or lower, which is unlikely, but probably $12 range, like I've said said many times, it'd be a buying opportunity because nothing has changed with the stock. If we look over here, no new news on NVTS. Nothing has changed. It's the same stock with the same deals, with the same partnership, working with NVIDIA, building the same chipsets, doing the same thing, yet the stock drops. So what's changed? People's sentiment. And what would change so quickly about someone's sentiment if the news didn't change? Psychology, FOMO, fear of missing out. You got in, the stock went up, and now it's starting to stabilize because less people are buying it. Still getting bought up. It's still moved a lot, but you can see that it's slowed down today because of news and because of tensions and because of what's going on in the market. And of course, the economy and inflation and interest rate cuts, FOMC, Donald Trump, everything. So it slowed down. So people start to get greedy. FOMO, fear of missing out, kicks in. People start selling, so it drops. And as it's selling off, people are buying it up, but it's still profit taking. Still what's happening. So it could dip a little bit more. So even if it dipped down here, it would just be because sellers overwhelmed the buyers due to fear because of what's going on in the economy and because the stocks slowed down. So everyone's taking profits. So we could see a little sell off, but that's not bad. That means we have more opportunity here to buy more shares long term, because after something like this typically happens, the stock will then run up like this. And even if it comes back down and runs up a little bit, it's more opportunity. But this happens. It's psychology. Nothing's changed on the stock, yet it's slowing down and selling off. This is a mental game. It is psychology, which is what I heavily teach in Discord. And you guys don't want to miss out on that opportunity if you want to get better in the market. Like I said, the link to get started is in the information box below. But ultimately, it is a good time to really start looking at NVTS if it breaks down below 14. You want to watch this stock dollar cost average. Remember, I've said this many times. If you add here and then it drops down, you add here, and then it drops down and you add more there, and then it consolidates down here and you add a lot more here. Well, now your average is somewhere here. So you'd have an average of 13 while the stock is at 11 and change. You'd only be $2 out. Add a little bit more, brings your level down. When the stock runs, this is your average and this is where you'll be. You'll go from $12 hypothetically to 17. This is how you mitigate this issue. Ultimately, I would add a little here. If it dropped, I would add a little here. If it drops here, I would add a little. If it dropped again, and once it starts consolidating and you see something like this for a couple of days or a week, then you'd start adding a lot, which would bring your average down from here to here to here. You'd have an average somewhere down here if you bought most over here. And this is how you dollar cost average. And to make it more simple to understand, if you're buying 100 shares here and 100 shares here, 100 right here, and then it consolidates for a couple of days, you see a lot of strength and you buy 500 to 1,000 down here, well, then your average is going to be somewhere right here, 1175, and you're only going to be out by $1. As soon as the stock starts flying, all of this is profit. This is how you dollar cost average long term on a stock like this. I just showed you guys my DFib, my D stochastics RSI, which is down here, which is showing us very clearly it's overbought and dropping. And I'll show you why we call it a D stochastics RSI, which is because it has divergence on it, which I'm showing you right now. And I use this all the time. Bearish divergence has kicked in, which is kind of an exit pattern, but you wouldn't want to do this on a stock like this if you're holding long term. If you want to take profits, you could do this now, because in my opinion, this sell-off is going to continue a little bit and it's going to consolidate and probably likely hold mid to high 13s or low to mid 14s, somewhere in that range. It'll hold as it consolidates to the right, and then it might pull back a little more dollar cost averaging opportunity over here, and then maybe it runs. But it's still a great stock, and I think by New Year's we're still equal to or higher than we are now, and by next year probably double, and we could well exceed that. We could be 25 by the end of this year, but I'm just speaking very modestly and very neutral on this stock depending on how things go with the economy. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Look forward to seeing you in the Discord real soon and in the next video. Guys can use the link below to get started with Discord so that I can help you achieve your goals in the market and the strategies that I'm showing you here right now. AVP, my DFib, RSI stochastics, and my D stochastic RSI, showing you guys exactly what's going on with these stocks and how to understand the pullback, especially with the DFib. I teach all of this in Discord thoroughly, and my students make a lot of money, like you can see on the profits right there. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next video in the Discord real soon. Look forward to helping you. I'll see you soon. Take care, fam. One love.